Get down there! Alright, everybody pays attention. No one gets hurt. Go! Open the door! They'll get worse than hurt! Hey! Come on!
Welcome back, guys. This is Winston Pinnicle from Insipid Arts with its GTA 5 First Impressions. Now, let's give a round of applause to the prodigal sons of gaming with its long-awaited and painstaking anticipation release of GTA 5. I'll just give pause for that. Alright. So much like the previous First Impressions video, I will be talking about gameplay core mechanics, aesthetics, and storyline. So enough about brown-nosing Rockstar, and let's get on with the criticism. So starting off with the game's prologue. I genuinely felt an odd shift in balance of the game, but with lingering characteristics from the previous Grand Theft Auto. I'm referring to the bank heist mission with Nico and friends from GTA 4. Now, as expected, this game was meant to stand out and above the rest of the competition. And you know what? It's clearly shown its promise, as right off the bat, it's a little hard to recognize that this in fact is Grand Theft Auto. I mean, come on. This game just looks so polished and clean. And I'm not beating down on Grand Theft Auto, but genuinely I'm kind of used to its cathartic, very chaotic game to start off right anyways. Like, it's just, right in the beginning, you're kind of thrown in everything. But right now, much like the other games, clearly things aren't going right. And it goes really well, in fact, on how this game starts off. So right now we're about to witness one of the new mechanics that they've added in, which is basically character swapping. Right on the go, you're able to help out other teammates and control other characters who have their own strengths and abilities. So right now we're currently playing as Trevor, one of the three protagonists who's clearly not really all there. Now, it's quite the interesting concept. You know, it's really well, because a lot of games tried this, the character swapping, but none of them really do it much justice other than Grand Theft Auto. It's amazing how well they do it. You know, the fact that it just goes through, and it's actually kind of hard to recognize this is really Grand Theft Auto, aside from, you know, the typical HUD and, you know, the chaos. It's just, to me, it's a little unsettling to actually believe that the open world we all grew to love became this matured, refined gem of a game. You know, from its humble beginnings of top-down to, I guess, the ghetto streets of Los Santos came back and just completely up the ass with its amazing refined items. Like, it's hard to recognize now, which is good. You know, some change is actually really good. Now, that being said, the vault heist obviously has gone awry. You know, much like many before, things are gonna go pretty bad. So as right now, that's how character swapping is on the go. Now, I have done it before, and you know, when I first saw it on the trailers, I'm like, hey, that's really cool, man. That's actually kind of too good to believe. And that's the one thing I noticed, actually, in the trailer. They kind of show character swapping a little bit faster than how it actually really is. It is a little longer, but when the characters are beside each other, it goes instantly. And look how perfect it is. Like, it works so well. Like, it transitions, there's no cuts, there's no loading. It just, boom, you're Michael. Back, you're Trevor. And it's just, the different tactical decisions you can do with that yourself is all up to you. And that's what makes small things like that count. But hey, this is just a prologue, so maybe it starts off good, but we'll see. GTA, you never really let me down. You just leave me a little bit confused sometimes on how to really feel about you. But even then, so this unsettling thing, it's gone really bad. You know, it drops 2 out of the 3 protagonists, and I would say 2 out of the 3 because Franklin actually isn't in this yet. He's actually a little bit later on, but you'll get to see that. So as this conflict goes on, things really don't get much better. It gets pretty bad. But let's look at this amazing. You know, when I first saw this, I genuinely thought, you know, there'd be, you know, weather, but there isn't, and I felt quite sad. But regardless, it shows the dynamic of, I guess, conventions and how well the whole entire game works with Rockstar. I mean, they managed to blend and properly do everything with these different themes and these different missions. It stands out that much more than the next game or the game before that. Each game progressively gets even better. But hey, that's up to you on how you see it. Now, I was always a little curious, and I was kind of worried about this character swapping, since we're on the topic anyways of, I guess, new dynamics. I was always kind of scared how the AI reacts now. With people hunting you down, how would it go? You know, when you're split up with your teammate, how is the AI? It's greatly improved, though some can, you know, disagree with me. I genuinely believe things have gotten better. But now, continuing with the storyline here, things have clearly gone pretty bad. You know, from bad to worse, the characters are at the breaking point of their plan, as the cops have genuinely kind of caught up to them, you know, and left with plenty of unanswered questions, like, what the hell is going on? Regardless, right now we're going to continue playing as Trevor. Now this character is quite the interesting one, and I think I'd refer to him as actually probably one of my favorite characters. Mainly because of the fact that he's very selfless, I guess in the aspect that he's willing to sacrifice himself to defend Michael and his friend, whose name I can't remember right now. But anyways, that third guy, who I'm pretty sure is dead by now. Regardless, he's willing to go apeshit for his team. A guy you kind of truly want on your team, regardless on how he is mentally. I mean, seeing how everything works here. It's quite odd, but hey, it works. And GTA has always managed to balance its personality and its game. Nothing has gone over or over the top. And that's where it truly matters. How well you present your game, even with ranging things like this. So as Trevor makes his daring prison break-esque escape from the police, let's see on how Michael was left alone to bleed went. So yes, quite confusing. That is actually Michael's funeral. So yes, he's faked his own death. Ooh, suspenseful, isn't it? So, I'm a little bit further into the game now, and I can generally say questions haven't even been answered for the prologue yet. I'm pretty sure they will be, but regardless, it goes really well. Now noticing how Michael is now. You know, he's no longer the bank heist robber. He is this torn, middle-aged man who honestly looks a little bit depressed. But let's listen to his dialogue here. It's pretty awesome.
All day, smoking dope and jerking off while he plays that fucking game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
And what about you?
What about me? Hey. I don't have the advantages that kid has. By the time I was his age, I'd already been in prison twice. I robbed banks. I ran whores. I smuggled dope.
And you consider them achievements?
These were the opportunities I had. At least I took them.
And where did these opportunities get you, Michael?
They got me right fucking here. The end of the road. With a big house and a useless kid, and I'm stuck talking to you because no one else gives a shit. Oh, I'm living a dream, baby. And that dream is fucked. It is fucking fucked.
Let it all out.
Now, that was quite the interesting, I guess, little intro for Michael. Quite the interesting character, and you know what? He is very likable. It's very sad for certain aspects. Now let's continue with the second character. Well, I mean, we talked about Trevor, but now let's continue properly with Franklin. One of, I guess, you know, the San Andreas feel. This character has properly been rounded, and it works really well, I guess, in the aspect of each character has their own world that is so completely different, but works so properly. When I play as Franklin, I'm literally playing San Andreas. When I play as Michael, I feel like I'm playing Vice City, just nicely aged. I haven't played as Trevor yet because he's a little bit further to the storyline. But regardless, everything works really well. Now let's talk about the driving aspect of the game. This mechanic is quite the interesting one. When I first played, it was... I don't know really how to put it. I just gotta tell you right now, I'm a shit driver. I suck at driving in games. So I guess getting my advice on how driving works in this game might be a little off, but regardless, it's fluid. It's almost a little bit better than GTA 4's driving. Though some cars do feel like you're on ice. Regardless, it sticks fairly well to the tracks and everything works really well. Ignoring that, I can get by with it. It's fairly good. It has upgraded from the previous game, and that's one thing I've always looked at. I have very high expectations of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it's always been there for me, you know? So I gotta know, can it keep up? So this is his ability. So Franklin's ability, which looks very Need for Speed actually, which is quite odd, but regardless, it has the ability to kind of slow down time, much like Michael's bullet time. His is mainly just more for driving. So when you want to kind of get in the fine-tuning or in the races and stuff like that, Franklin's your go-to guy. Probably one of the most expert drivers you can use, and you know what? It works really well. I thought it was a little odd, truthfully. But hey, I guess that's how it goes. But anyways, this interesting dialogue between the two characters. One thing I did not like, I'm used to Grand Theft Auto's very intelligent dialogue. I hear the N-word a lot when you're playing as Franklin. And maybe it's because I'm uncomfortable with the word. Maybe that's what it is. But, you know what? I don't know. San Andreas was pretty awesome, but, you know, they didn't drop it this bad. I mean, come on, guys. Eventually, it gets to the point where, alright, we should create a swear jar. It's getting pretty bad. But even then, cops in this game have gone even harder and worse. Like, they'll kick your ass. It's pretty bad. Hiding away from them and running away, it's getting unbearable, but it works really well. So, let's go in that aspect in a little bit. So right now, as you can clearly see, there's little references and little homages to pop culture. All little things here. So let's witness this little tidbit of, I guess, a cutscene. And you guys will see the personality and the charm Grand Theft Auto offers.
No, I'm not calling nobody a nigga. Wait, what the fuck? I mean, N-word. That's not cool, man. I don't say that.
Man, shit, it's good to be home.
So regardless, that character looks fairly familiar. He's actually Michael's son. But yes, his entire game ties in with each other one way or another. Remember that, guys. And again, once more, let's listen to this interesting dialogue.
Get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with, nigga.
Burns you pretty deep, but it's okay. So now let's move on to the aesthetics feature of this actual video. So as far as it goes, the graphics have improved greatly. Now, I'm not one for the actual graphics itself. You know, I enjoy games that, you know, have to carry their own name. That it's amazing in that aspect. But the graphics, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it works really well in the aspect of it's caught up, it's next gen, it's proper, and it's one of the few games that have left that can actually properly manage its time with what is going on. You know, it can continue and keep up like the heavy hitters that games are, like The Last of Us. So you don't need to worry about GTA falling behind with its graphics because there are so many game mechanics or the storyline so intriguing. But let's also go into another factor, the actual physics. Now, everyone loved the physics from Red Dead Redemption, but I love the physics they added in this one. So if you manage, a perfect example, if you manage to screw up wall hopping, if you bump into something, or that aspect right there, if you trip, there's no floating, there's no jumping, you'll see everything and you'll fall pretty damn hard. So yeah, it's gotten a lot better. So this is Los Santos. What do you think, guys? Grand Theft Auto 5 has done amazing. And that, my dear viewers, was our first impressions with GTA 5. And you know what? Because I've enjoyed the game for its many aspects and constant attention to detail, I'll be giving this amazing game a 9 out of 10. Suck it, Saints, bro.